Last Thanksgiving, I flew to the Sutter House above Asheville. Everyone preferred Dad carving, Patrice stopping in, my brother Aiden filming. When plates were full and mouths occupied, asked, did the hospital send the surgery appointment letter? They tried a look, then a laugh. Oh yeah, it came, Dad said. But we used that money for Aiden's 27th. Kid only turns 27 once. Forks kept moving. I set mine down. Then I guess you still don't know who actually needed that surgery. Silence fell. Dad paled. Patrice froze amid gravy. I then stared at his plate. 3 seconds and Thanksgiving shattered. Didn't sleep. Dawn pushed through Theblins while I sat on the couch with a number I called Tuntunsin. 178 oh gone. 10 years of patching their lives while mine ran on instant noodles and overdom. Aiden's tuition, the BMW, then twerking penthouse, the supplemental cards passed around like party favors. 11 months earlier, I then crashed at my place, knees swollen, pain he called old football. While he snored, I drew 12 eels with a kit I'd ordered and drove with them to a lab. Dr. Rowan Beck, my ex, our hematologist I trust, Calidagris of rheumatoid arthritis. Start biologics within 8 months or risk permanent damage. So, I built a trusty beneficiary IDAN, medical expenses only. I filled it to Duke's disposal and added one emergency clause. Patrice learned the words and emptied I Tinto confetti and fireworks. At 2 o'clock a.m., they pounded on my door, bourbon in their breath and outrage in their hands. Patrice slapped statements on my table. Dad barked about bounced payments. I then hovered in the doorways more than I remembered. No, I said not another dime. Get out. The envelope ended without a stamp. My name typed like a verdict. Petition for guardianship of Mara Ella Hart. Me, Philed B. Gregory and Patrice Hart. 4 paragraphs accusing me of instability, of irrational hostility, of squandering a substantial estate. A blue arrow sticker pointed at the signature line of a voluntary agreement. Sign. And they'd manage my life for Miss Afidi. I called the lawyer who'd ever scared a room for me, Sloan Donnelly. Don't sign, she said. Theory upon as in guardianship. Gather proof you were competent. Gather proof they raided a medical trust. I printed bank records, the forged mail, the lodge invoice, even a dense Instagram where confetti burst over his grin. Then HR mailed a notice. Health coverage terminated pending suspicion of 47,000 in psychiatric claims. I'd never been admitted anywhere. The insurer read the submission IPS while my hands shook on the porch. Everyone traced to the house I grew up in. At 1:32 a.m., fists battered my door. 2 patrol cars flashed blue into the snow. Welfare check, said the lead, Detective Alana Cruz. A family member reported a suicide attempt. They searched closets, shower, drawers. Finding only dust and cold leftovers, Cruz handed me a form. If they call again, ring me first, she said, sliding her card into my palm like a match. Saul moved fast. Subpoenas 4th notary who stamped 11 affidavit, requests for footage proving I was at work when I supposedly collapsed. And it is to compel Dr. Rowan Beck to testify about Aiden's diagnosis in the trust. The summons arrived. Hearing in for weeks. Clerk Naomi Everett presiding. I lined up folders on my kitchen table like soldiers and sharpened every pencil in the house. Rain hammered the Curtis roof. I sat beside Sloan across the aisle. Gregory and Patrice whispered while I then slouched. Clerk Naomi Everett took the bench. Their wire opened about a daughter in crisis. Sloan stood. This is an attempt to seize a control through fraud. She called our witness. Rowan entered with a folder and Warren. He laid out Aiden's diagnosis, the 8-month window, the trust I funded, the forged email, the wire to a lodge, the fireworks invoice, the band contract. On the screen, the paper trail glowed. Patrice went gray. Gregory clenched the table. I then stared as if pages might rearrange into mercy. Sloan handed up affidavits and their incantations we pried loose. Witnesses paid $500 to lie. The notary's log, thrime stamps, insurer IP records from Miprant's address stacked and labeled. Everett read for a minute while thunder rolled. Then the ruling came. No credible basis for incompetence. Petition denied with prejudice. FEs to them. Referral to prosecutors for exploitation, forgery, Perjury. The gavel fell like a door slamming shut. Aiden's earbuds slid from his hands to the courtroom floor. Consequences followed in a steady, predictable march. Sanctions. Legal bills. The kind of financial pressure that doesn't crack a family so much as grind it down. Foreclosure signs sprouted in the yard I once mowed. Aiden's flare-ups worsened. By autumn, he needed a walker. I sold the Cedar House and moved to Charlotte. New number, new key, new quiet. On my final drive east, the Blue Ridge unspooled in the rearview like a film I'd already watched enough times. I wasn't triumphant. I was finished. Here's what I know now. Love isn't a blank check. Family isn't a contract you can't cancel. I rolled down the window and let the mountain air rinse my face.